The real value comes when you find one in mint condition, or if it has some special features. But here's where things get interesting. There are some 1982 copper pennies that have been known to fetch astronomical prices at auctions. For example, and has no wear and tear, it could be worth even more. If you're interested in collecting 1982 pennies, my best advice is to look through your change and pay attention to any older pennies you come across. Be sure to check the composition and condition. A well-preserved copper penny from 1982 could be worth more than you'd expect, and if you find a rare era coin, you might just strike gold. And remember, while it's fun to think about the potential value of your coins, the true joy of collecting is in the history and stories each coin tells. The 1982 penny is a great example of how something as simple as a penny can have so much more value and meaning than we first realize. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed learning about the 1982 1-cent coin. If you found this video helpful, be sure to give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button for more coin content. Let me know in the comments if you've ever found a rare penny, and as always, keep hunting and happy collecting. Hey there, coin enthusiasts! Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into a specific coin that many of us probably have in our change jars, the 1987 1-cent coin. But this is no ordinary penny. In this video, we'll uncover its history, the value it holds today, and some surprising facts that could make it worth a lot more than just 1 cent. So stay tuned as we explore everything about the 1987 penny. Before we talk about the coin's value, let's take a step back and look at its history. The 1-cent coin, or penny, has been a staple of American currency since 1793, with various designs gracing its front and back over the years. However, by the 1980s, the design was set with the iconic Abraham Lincoln portrait on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. This design was introduced back in 1909 and, in 1987, the penny still bore this familiar look. The coin you'll find from 1987 features President Abraham Lincoln's portrait on the obverse, designed by Victor David Brenner. On the reverse, you'll see the Lincoln Memorial, designed by Frank Gasparo. This design had been in circulation for over 75 years by 1987, and it remained a symbol of American history and the legacy of one of the nation's most revered presidents. Now, let's talk about the numbers. The mintage of a coin refers to how many of that specific year's coins were produced. For the 1987 1-cent coin, there were actually several million pennies minted in that year. The Philadelphia Mint produced over 5.8 billion pennies, while the Denver Mint produced more than 6 billion. So, when you think of a 1987 penny, it's not exactly a rare coin in terms of mintage. In fact, with such a high production rate, most 1987 pennies are worth just 1 cent today. While the 1987 penny is common, it does have some value beyond its face value, especially if you're in the world of coin collecting. In general, most 1987 pennies are worth just 1 cent, but here's where things get interesting. Sometimes, small details or defects in coins can make them valuable. If you come across a 1987 penny with a minting error, such as a double die or a misstrike, it can be worth much more. For example, a double die penny, where the details of the design are duplicated, can fetch anywhere from $5 to $50 depending on the severity of the error and the condition of the coin. But hold on, there's more. Now, when it comes to the 1980, one of the most sought-after errors is the 1987 double-die penny. These coins are highly prized by collectors on the Lincoln has been strims, creating a blurry, doubled effect on the features of Lincoln's face, the date, and the inscriptions. This makes it a rare and highly collectible era coin. In fact, depending on the condition, these double-dyed pennies can be worth anywhere from $10 to over $50, and in some cases, even more if it can. So, what affects the value of your 1987 penny? A few key factors come into play when determining how much a coin is worth. Let's break them down. 1. Condition asterisk. The condition of your coin is extremely important. Coins are graded based on their appearance, with categories ranging from good to mint state, MS. A penny in mint state, with little to no wear, is worth one or damn. If your 9 penny looks brand new, worth more than an error coin. As we meant, minting errors are a big factor. If your penny has a double die or other rare minting issues, it can boost the value significantly. 3. Rarity asterisk. Despite the large mintage numbers, certain varieties and errors are still rare. So finding a high quality error coin, it's worth hundreds, much more than a 80. About the big, while 87 just one collector significant rare coins or 1987 double-dyed penny in excellent condition could be sold for anywhere between $50 to $200. And in extreme cases, even higher, don't just take their sales where have gone 1-0 if it can. It's important to note, though, that the value of a coin can fluctuate depending on demand and the market. But if you're lucky enough to have one of these rare varieties in your collection, it could be worth way more than you think. Let's quickly go over how you can identify 87 pennies. Here are a few tips to look for ancient coins. Inspect the date and Lincoln's pool or any sign date, image, DT or updated double dots, strikes, or on the these value coins with actually those 5 or higher grades can be much more valuable. If your penny looks brand new, you might be sitting on a. Well, there you have it, folks. The 1987 1-cent coin might seem like just a regular penny at first glance, but there's more to it than meets the eye. Whether you've got a rare minting error, a penny in mint condition, or in collecting, these small coins can have a surprisingly large worth. If you found this video helpful, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more coin collecting tips and history. Also, if you've found a rare 1987 penny in your collection, let us know in the comments below. We'd love to hear about your discoveries. Until next time, keep your change jar handy, and happy collecting! Coin collectors and history buffs, welcome back to the channel. If you've ever dug through your change jar or checked the bottom of your purse, chances are you've come across a 1990 penny. But wait, this coin isn't just any regular penny. In today's video, we're going to dive deep into the fascinating world of the 1990 1-cent coin. From its historical significance to its current value, and even some potential surprising worth, you're in for a treat. So, let's get started and uncover everything you need to know about this iconic coin. Let's start by looking at the history of the 1990 penny. The 1-cent coin, or penny, has been a part of American currency since 1793. But by the time the 1990 penny was minted, the design had been set for many years. The coin's design features President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the Lincoln portrait has been the face of the penny since 1909, while the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse was introduced in 1959, created by Frank Gasparo. These designs would continue to grace the penny for many years to come, with only minor changes made to the coin's structure and composition. But in 1990, the penny was still largely the same coin it had been since the 1950s. Now, let's talk about the mintage of the 1990 penny. The D on the coin's reverse signifies that this particular penny was minted at the Denver Mint, one of the main U.S. mints responsible for producing coins. In 1990, the total mintage of 1990 pennies was quite substantial. In fact, over 5.5 billion pennies were produced at the Denver Mint that year, making it one of the most common coins in circulation from that period. But just because a coin is common doesn't mean it can't be valuable. The mintage of the 1990 D penny is high, but there's more to it than meets the eye when it comes to value. So, what determines the value of a 1990 D penny? Like all coins, the value can vary based on a few key factors. Most pennies, including the 1990 D, are worth their face value, *** 1 cent ***, but there are some important exceptions to keep in mind. Let's break down the factors that can increase the value of your 1990 D penny. 1. Condition ***. The first factor is condition. Coins are graded on a scale from good, G, to mint state, MS, with coins in better condition generally worth more. A penny in mint state, meaning it looks brand new and has no significant wear, more than a worn penny. 2. Minting errors ***. The second factor that can increase the value of a penny is a minting error. These errors occur when something goes wrong during the production process. For example, you could find a penny with a double die or off-center strike, which makes it a rare and valuable piece. Some 1990 D pennies have been discovered with double die errors on the date, or Lincoln's portrait, which can increase their value dramatically. 3. Rarity ***. Even though there are billions of 1990 D pennies, certain varieties or condition levels can make a specific coin rare and valuable to collectors. For instance, a 1990 D penny in perfect, uncirculated condition or one with a rare minting error could be worth more than a regular penny. One of the most sought-after versions of the 1990 D penny is the double die penny. A double die error occurs when the coin is struck multiple times, causing certain areas of the design to appear doubled or blurred. This can happen in a variety of ways, sometimes affecting the date, the inscription, or even Lincoln's portrait itself. For the 1990 D penny, the most famous errors include the double date where the numbers in the year 1990 appear twice, once more faintly, creating a blurry, double effect. If you're lucky enough to find one of these double die pennies, they are much more valuable than a regular 1990 D penny. So, how much is your 1990 D penny worth, depending on its condition? Let's break it down. Common 1990 D penny, good to fine condition. If your 1990 D penny is in good or fine condition, with noticeable wear and tear, it's worth about 1 cent, the same as its face value. Mint state 1990 D penny, MS 65 or higher. However, if you've got a 1990 D penny in mint state, MS 65 or higher, it could be worth $1 to $3, especially if it's been properly stored and maintained. Some of these coins, even in high grades, can be quite desirable to collectors looking to complete their sets. Double die 1990 D penny ***. For those rare double die 1990 D pennies, the value can range from $10 to $50 depending on the quality of the error and the overall condition of the coin. In uncirculated condition, this error penny could fetch anywhere from $100 to $200 or more. Now, let's talk about the big worth of the 1990 D penny. While most of these coins aren't going to make you a fortune, some of them, especially those with significant errors, have sold for substantial amounts. For example, at coin auctions, rare double die pennies from 1990 have been known to go for several $100s if they're in perfect, uncirculated condition and feature highly prized error details. There's even been a reported sale of a double die 1990 D penny reaching $1,000. That's right, $1,000, for a penny that originally cost only 1 cent. This proves just how valuable these rare error coins can be when they make it to the right market. Now that you know the value of the 1990 D penny, how can you find one that's worth more than just a cent? Here are a few tips to help you identify a valuable 1990 D penny. 1. Inspect the date and portrait ***. Check for any doubling or blurring on the date, especially the year 1990, or on Lincoln's portrait. If you see these doubled features, you might have a double die error coin on your hands. 2. Look for off-center strikes ***. Sometimes, minting errors cause the coin to be struck off-center, creating a coin with uneven edges or misaligned designs. These can be valuable, especially if the error is more pronounced. 3. Examine the coin's condition asterisk. If your penny looks as if it's just come from the mint with no visible wear, it could be in mint state condition, which means it's worth more than the average circulated penny. Well, that wraps up our deep dive into the 1990 penny. While most of them are worth only a cent, if you're lucky enough to find one with a minting error or in perfect condition, it could be worth a lot more than you think. Remember to check your change jars, and who knows? You might have a small treasure hiding in there. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe for more videos on coin collecting, history, and rare finds. Have you ever come across a 1990 penny with an error? Let us know in the comments below. Until next time, happy collecting and keep on searching for those hidden gems. Coin collectors and history enthusiasts, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're focusing on a coin that's probably found its way into many of our pockets at some point, the 1993 1-cent coin. But don't let its small size fool you. This little penny has a big story and some surprising value. Whether you're a seasoned collector or a casual numismatist, this video will break down everything you need to know about the 1993 penny, from its fascinating history to its potential worth today. So, let's dive in and discover why this seemingly common coin could be worth a lot more than just 1 cent. Let's start with a little history lesson. The 1-cent coin, or penny, has been a fixture of American currency since 1793. The 1993 penny, however, is just one example of the modern iterations of this beloved coin. So, what makes this penny special? Close-up of a 1993 penny. In 1993, the design of the penny was already set. It featured Abraham Lincoln's portrait on the obverse, front side, and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse, back side. This design has been the standard for the penny since 1909, thanks to the work of Victor David Brenner and Frank Gasparo. The Lincoln Memorial design, introduced in 1959, honors the iconic monument in Washington, D.C., while Lincoln's profile pays tribute to the 16th President of the United States. Now, the 1993 penny was minted at the Denver Mint, denoted by the D on the reverse side, and it's part of the ongoing production of billions of pennies that have been struck every year for decades. Now, let's get into the numbers. Mintage refers to how many of a particular coin were produced in a given year. The 1993 penny is far from rare when it comes to production numbers. In fact, over 6 billion 1993 pennies were minted that year. This large mintage means that most of these pennies aren't going to be worth a fortune based on rarity alone. Show images of the minting process at the Denver Mint. But hold on. Just because a coin is common in terms of mintage doesn't mean it doesn't have a unique value. The 1993 penny can still hold value depending on its condition, any errors it may have, and the general interest from collectors. Now you might be wondering, what makes a 1993 penny worth more than just 1 cent? Well, several factors come into play when determining a penny's value. First and foremost, the condition of the coin is key. Coins are graded on a scale from good to mint state. A penny in mint state, MS, meaning it looks as if it's freshly minted and has no visible wear or damage, is worth far more than one that's been heavily circulated. Secondly, minting errors can play a huge role in the coin's value. While most 1993 pennies are produced without issue, some may feature interesting or rare errors that could make them worth much more than face value. Finally, rarity and collector demand can also influence a coin's worth. While the 1993 penny is fairly common, certain factors like high-grade specimens or error coins can increase its value. Speaking of minting errors, let's take a closer look at some of the errors you should keep an eye out for when examining a 1993 penny. These errors can greatly increase the value of your coin. One of the most common errors you might find in 1993 pennies is the double die error. This happens when the die used to strike the coin is misaligned during the minting process, causing the features of the design, such as the date or lettering, to appear doubled. Zoom in to show an example of a double die error. For the 1993 D penny, a double die error on the date, or Lincoln's portrait, is particularly valuable to collectors. These coins can range in value from $10 to $50, depending on the quality of the doubling and the condition of the coin. Another error to look for is the off-center strike. This happens when the penny is not perfectly aligned during the minting process, causing part of the coin to be missing or off-center. These types of errors can significantly increase the value of a coin if the off-center strike is substantial. Lastly, look out for die cracks. These occur when a crack forms in the die, causing the crack to be stamped onto the coin. These are typically small, but can add uniqueness to the coin, making it more desirable to collectors. Let's take a moment to talk about how much your 1993 D penny might be worth based on its condition. Common 1993 D penny, good to fine condition. If your 1993 D penny is in good or fine condition, meaning it has visible wear and doesn't have any errors, it's worth about 1 cent, just like any other penny you'd find in your change. Uncirculated 1993 D penny, MS65 or higher. Now, if you've got an uncirculated 1993 D penny, meaning it's in mint state with no wear and is in excellent condition, you could expect it to be worth between $1 to $3. These coins are more desirable to collectors who are looking for pristine examples of each year's issue. 1993 D double die or error penny asterisk. For those with a double die or other minting error, the value increases significantly. Depending on the error and condition, these could be worth anywhere from $10 to $50. In some cases, if the error is particularly rare or significant, it could even be worth more. So, how about the big bucks? While most 1993 D pennies won't make you a fortune, there have been instances where rare error coins have fetched a nice sum at auction houses or among collectors. Some 1993 D double die error pennies in mint state condition can sell for $100 or more, and depending on the severity of the error, some have even sold for upwards of $500 to $1,000 at auctions. Cut to footage of rare coin auctions, with high bids being placed. These sales show just how valuable rare minting errors can be, and while it's not every day you'll find a penny worth hundreds of dollars, it's worth checking your 1993 D pennies for any unusual features. Now let's go over some quick tips for identifying a valuable 1993 D penny in your collection. 1. Inspect the date and Lincoln's portrait asterisk. Look closely at the date. Is it doubled? Are there signs of blurring on the portrait of Lincoln? If so, you might have a double die error. 2. Check for off-center strikes asterisk. Examine the edges of the penny. Is the design misaligned? If so, you may have an off-center strike, which could be worth more. 3. Examine the coin for die cracks asterisk. Look at the edges and details of the coin for any cracks. While they're subtle, die cracks can be valuable and unique. 4. Look at the condition asterisk. If the penny is in mint state, unopened, with no visible wear, it's worth checking with a professional coin grader, as it could be worth more than just a cent. Well, that's a wrap on the 1993 D 1 cent coin. While this penny may seem like a regular coin in your pocket, it's got a lot of potential for collectors. Whether you're looking for a minting error, a high-grade specimen, or just learning about the value of your coins, the 1993 D penny might surprise you. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe for more videos on coin collecting, history, and valuable finds. Have you ever found a 1993 D penny with a rare error or in pristine condition? Let us know in the comments below. Until next time, keep searching through your change, and happy collecting. Let's kick things off with a little background on the 1993 penny. The 1 cent coin, or penny, has been part of the American currency system since 1793, and over the years, its design has evolved quite a bit. But by the time 1993 rolled around, the penny had already been using the same design for several decades. On the obverse, or front side, of the 1993 penny, you'll see the iconic portrait of Abraham Lincoln, designed by artist Victor David Brenner. Lincoln's image has been gracing the penny since 1909, making it one of the longest-standing coin designs in the U.S. mint's history. And on the reverse, or back side, we see the Lincoln Memorial, designed by Frank Gasparo. This design was introduced in 1959 to celebrate Lincoln's life and legacy, specifically honoring the Lincoln Memorial in Washington, D.C. Now, the 1993 penny was minted at the Denver Mint, as indicated by the D mint mark on the reverse side. While this design had been around for a while, the 1993 penny represents a year of transition in the world of U.S. coinage. It was just 2 years after the U.S. government had removed copper from pennies due to rising costs, and the coins were now being minted with a copper-plated zinc composition. Let's talk about the mintage numbers for the 1993 penny. In other words, how many of these little coins were actually produced. In 1993, the U.S. Mint struck over 6.7 billion 1-cent coins across all mints. That's a staggering amount of pennies. Of those, around 3.3 billion were minted at the Denver Mint with the D mint mark, and the rest came from the Philadelphia Mint, which produced the coins without any mint mark. So, when it comes to rarity, the 1993 penny isn't particularly scarce. There are billions of them out there. But that doesn't mean every 1993 penny is worth just a cent. Like all coins, the value of the 1993 penny is determined by several key factors. Let's break it down. Condition of the coin. The condition of the coin is one of the biggest factors. If your 1993 penny is in good condition, meaning it has visible wear and tear, it's typically only worth its face value of 1 cent. But if it's in uncirculated or mint state condition, so about demand. Some pennies are in higher demand because they are in better condition or are more desirable to collectors. Even though the 1993 penny was minted in massive numbers, high-grade examples can still fetch a premium. Minting errors. Minting errors are another big factor that can increase the value of a coin. If your 1993 penny has any significant errors, like double dies, off-center strikes, or die cracks, it could be worth much more than just a cent. These errors are rare and are highly sought after by collectors, making them valuable finds. Speaking of minting errors, let's take a closer look at the kinds of errors you should keep an eye out for when checking your 1993 penny. Double die errors. One of the most common minting errors in the 1993 penny is the double die error. This occurs when the die used to strike the coin is misaligned during the minting process, causing the design to be struck twice. You might notice that parts of the date, or even Lincoln's portrait, are doubled. These double dies are highly sought after by collectors, so if you find one, it could increase the value of your coin by $10 to $50, depending on the severity of the error and the condition of the coin. Zoom in on a clear example of a double die error on the 1993 penny, off-center strikes. Another error to look for is an off-center strike. This happens when the penny is not aligned properly in the coin press, resulting in part of the design being cut off or shifted. These types of errors make the coin unique and can sometimes increase its value by $20 to $100, depending on how pronounced the misalignment is. Die cracks. Sometimes you may notice die cracks on your penny. These occur when the die that strikes the coin develops cracks, and those cracks are transferred onto the coin. Die cracks are less common but can add uniqueness to a penny. Depending on where the crack appears, these coins can be worth more to collectors. So, how much is your 1993 penny actually worth? Well, it depends on its condition, the presence of any errors, and its overall demand among collectors. Common 1993 penny, good to fine condition. In good or fine condition, where the coin shows visible signs of wear and has little to no shine left, the 1993 penny is typically worth just 1 cent, its face value. This is the most common scenario for a 1993 penny you'll come across. Uncirculated 1993 penny, MS65 or higher. However, if your 1993 penny is in mint state, meaning it's in pristine condition with little to no wear, it could be worth anywhere from $1 to $3. A coin in MS-65 condition or higher is considered a great find by collectors, and these pennies are worth more than face value. 1993 penny with minting errors, double die or off-center strikes. For a 1993 penny with an error, like a double die or off-center strike, values can range from $10 to $50 depending on the error and the quality of the coin. In some cases, especially for highly collectible errors, the value could even rise to $100 or more. Now, let's talk about the big money. While most 1993 pennies won't make you a millionaire, there are some rare examples with major minting errors that have sold for surprising amounts. For example, a double die or off-center strike coin in perfect condition can sometimes fetch between $100